Do you want to see the biggest Japanese archive video I've ever done? I can't hear you. Do you want to see the biggest Japanese archive video I've ever done? That's more like it. That's what I wanted to hear. Let's go. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Japanese archive, there is a very specific slice of fashion designers who really speak to people with a kind of dark, avant-garde, but also punk, rock and roll kind of aesthetic, and that's kind of me, you know? I'm talking about brands like LGB, Le Grand Bleu. I'm talking about brands like Number 9. And I promise you, there is a lot more where that came from. How much more? Well, today we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces in this video, maybe the most we've ever looked at in a video, and they're all beautiful, beautiful archive pieces. They're huge, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous archival fashion pieces. Now, there are a lot of reasons why pieces like this speak to me and people with similar interests to me. First of all, it's the degree of craftsmanship. These Japanese designers, and all of these are Japanese archive pieces, aside from one, which is just like a regular, not Japanese archive piece, but one thing they all share is an insane level of craftsmanship. Japanese clothing culture puts a huge premium on literal tailoring, clothes making skill. They have a system of training themselves up to be really good at making clothes, as opposed to the West, where it's kind of a bit of a free-for-all. You might have people that have trained all their lives to make clothes, and they'll become successful, and then someone else will become even more successful who just taught themselves and is winging it, you know? And with that comes a level of sustainability as well. If you're making things by hand, by skilled artisans, that tends to go more into the category of like slow fashion, right? Instead of making thousands and thousands of pieces in a factory and selling them as cheap as possible, maybe you're a craftsman that is taking your time with it, making a smaller amount of pieces, and that's just better for the environment overall, obviously. But then there's also, of course, just the rarity and exclusivity. People really like that. Maybe that's the most important part of archival clothing, if we're being honest. This stuff is incredibly expensive compared to your average piece of clothing, you know? It all started, I feel like, with Raf Simons and various like Eddie Slama pieces, but then these Japanese designers started getting picked up more and more and gaining more interest, and now you've got all of the Japanese brands, all of the early archive brands, and now you've got Chrome Hearts, ERD, these just like wrecking balls of hype coming through the archive scene. It's kind of going crazy, and when things go crazy, people really like that. I mean, is Japanese archive like the new NFTs? I guess we'll know in a year or so if the bubble bursts. But then on a more positive note, another reason that people like it so much is simply the style, but also like the versatility. These pieces, they look good, they're made well, they tend to fit well, but they're also weirdly versatile. They fit into a lot of different looks, and that's one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people into like Japanese archive clothing, they kind of just look like dudes. They're just dudes, but they're like better dressed with a little bit better style, but they're kind of like, they're wearing jeans, they're wearing a t-shirt, they're wearing a hoodie, whatever, but it's just like rare Japanese archive versions of all of that. But then if you want to level up, if you're more of like a crazy avant-garde, like Rick Owens, CCP type of person, you can also fit Japanese archive into that and be really out there and crazy and just like directional. I know I've never quite understood what the word directional means in a fashion sense, but I think it works there. So for all of those reasons, I'm so excited to have these pieces and excited to check them out. We're going to take a look at all of the details up close, see what makes these pieces tick, but then we'll also try them on, how they feel, how they fit, and put fits together around them. So let's dive in. What up? You get the up angle today as I pitch you the Patreon, because I just posted an exclusive video for patrons only where I go over the concept of jewelry in general, but also talk about my journey with jewelry and accessorizing, and I show off some new jewelry pickups from Chrome Hearts, ERD, and more. You got to get in the Patreon. You'll get an exclusive Discord access, private deals on stuff I featured on the channel. Join up. Now, if you needed any incentive to keep watching, just know that one of these pieces I literally bought from Elton John. So we will get to that. That's a true story. I'm so excited to look at it. But we're going to start right at the top of this stack with this pleather jacket. Now, I gotta tell you, this is legit like one of the most mysterious brands I have ever looked into. I could tell you what ChatGPT told me, but I don't know if it's real. They told me that it's designed by Kenta Matayuma, but that's not actually a real person. Then I asked it again and it said it was by someone named Hiro. So literally there's no information about this brand online, but really they were a Japanese brand around at the same time as a lot of these hype archival brands, you know, Number 9, If 6 Was 9, LGB, all that stuff. And this got kind of lumped in with that family of brands that people get really into because the stuff is of a certain aesthetic and looks cool. But I really don't have more information than that. If you do, let me know. But I thought this was a really great piece to show because it shows the idiosyncrasies of Japanese fashion. One thing that I really love is kind of odd text, like down the sleeves here. You've got Our Life with a dash between it, and it's like off-white Virgil Abloh type stripes going across the sleeves. I don't know what to tell you. What it means, I don't know. But there is more text on the back. Again, just looks like off-white to me. So funny. Yourself by moving, again, doesn't make any sense. In the dark, looked ahead, imagination. No imagination. I don't know what any of this means, you guys. This is like the weirdo side of Japanese archive where it's like, I don't know, it's cool, but I don't know why. It's like that quote that they use at the front of N-words in Paris. Should I have said that? I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm canceled.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Anyway, this one has a classic motorcycle cut, which I love. A really nice, cool, oiled look, but it is getting kind of cooked, and that tells you this is not real leather, unfortunately. There's the brand name right there. If you're ever interested in looking up more stuff by them, they do a lot of really cool pieces that you can get for pretty cheap on Grailed and Depop and places like that. Nice big chunky zipper, fully lined, you love to see it. And the text is all in Japanese, so that doesn't help us at all. But really all you need to know here is that it says it's a medium and that it is made of quote-unquote synthetic leather. But I thought this piece was a good one to start on because it kind of shows the almost purity of the Japanese archive scene. This brand doesn't really have like hype per se. Nobody even knows anything about it, but people find it aesthetically pleasing and therefore they start wearing it and passing it around and trading it and all this stuff. Whereas in the West with this more hype stuff, if it doesn't have a certain cachet to it, a certain hype, a certain clout, people don't touch it. But this, people just think it looks good, so they enjoy it. All right, I think we will save our Elton John for last. That's going to be crazy. Next up here is the one piece that is not strictly Japanese archive. It's just archive, but it fits in so well with these Japanese pieces that I couldn't help myself. Now this right here is a long sleeve piece by the French designer Isaac Salam. And I don't want to mince my words here, so I'll just say this piece is hot fire. So Isaac Salam, whatever you want to say, is really a specialist in leather. He does really, really intricate, interesting, and unique leather work, and I would say it kind of puts him in the realm of the dark avant-garde, and therefore it does pair really well with Japanese archive designers who also often step a foot into that lane. Now, before we look too close at the details, which are very cool, I want to look at the fabrication here. So the tag is incredibly long. Actually, it reminds me of Boris Bijan Saberi tags. So at the bottom of this, we can see this is the Spring-Summer 23 collection, so actually pretty recent in a size medium. So the shirt itself is 100% organic cotton with leather trimmings, which is insane, we'll get to that, and a steel staple signature. Garment dyed, just like the best dark avant-garde pieces, and made in Paris, France. So this is like the best of the best fabrication, construction, all that stuff. So this is just like a long sleeve shirt, but it is a really beautiful, like ribbed organic cotton, which looks incredible and feels even better. So I've been trying to figure out for a while what these seams are, and I went to his site and I think I started figuring it out. So I'm pretty sure what these are, they're like overlock seams, but then they have heat tape, heat adhesive placed over all of the seams, which is like an industrial use case being brought into clothing. Super cool. It looks like some H.R. Geiger shit, you know what I mean? And I love that. I love that for me. I love that for us. So these tape seams go all the way down the arm, right? and also go down the entire side of the piece. It's finished off with like a raw hem here, and one of my favorite details is actually at the back, because you get taping going across the back, and at the upper back, as we saw in the tags, a steel staple. That's like the back of the neck brand tag equivalent here. And I think it just looks so damn good, okay? So Isaac Salam stuff, definitely like run, don't walk to get this, because you can get it very, very affordably. It doesn't have the same level of hype as some of the other archive designers, but from a technical craft material perspective, it's probably better than whatever else you're buying. Now we have a lot of number 9 to look at, actually 3 pieces, so let's just get right into it. Now, number 9 is the 2000s era Japanese archive kind of punk rock and roll brand by Takehiro Miyashita, who is just a mastermind. Like, I wore a jacket, a blazer that he made to my wedding, so clearly I'm quite a fan here. And this is an early pair of corduroy pants from the brand number 9 that he designed for many years. And I just love the texture of this corduroy. It's like a natural corduroy, kind of velvety to the touch. It's everything you want out of a cord, you know? Kind of like a little low-rise zip closure. Not always a guarantee. I do prefer a zip. Very cool branded hardware here. And even at the little like nipple rivets as well. And a classic cut at the back. And what I love about this is that with the low rise, it is kind of a short inseam, but it falls perfectly on me. I don't have like the longest legs in the world. So these, they're just like they were made for me, you know? This is like one of the early number 9 tags here. And it actually has like logo lining inside the pockets, which is a really nice touch. And the care tags on this piece are actually tiny, but you can see that this one is made in Japan and it's a size 3, which is essentially meaningless because this fits more like a 30. And like I said, this one is a very, very old piece. It's from the Fall Winter '02 Nowhere Man collection. And speaking of old pieces, let's keep it going with the number 9, not get too hung up on any one piece, because we've got a piece of knitwear here from the Fall Winter '06 Noir collection. So this one, if I do say so myself, is a very aesthetically pleasing piece of knitwear. It's like a 2-tone Argyle V-neck knit sweater from 2006. You can't go wrong. Beautiful ribbed neckline here, kind of like collegiate style. But then you get some of like the punk elements coming in. It feels a little bit off, a little bit undone in a way, and very intentionally so, because you've got this kind of loose threading that they've done, almost repairing along the neckline here, which is a beautiful touch. And you can also see that they're switching up the style of knit. This is like, I don't know, a thicker, a tighter black knit here. But then you've got this like fuzzy gray that comes in for the Argyle, which is so sick. But then the entire sweater gets split along the horizontal axis and becomes fully that fuzzy gray here. It's so dope. The hem just naturally rolls in the perfect way. Like, look at the inside of that. Oh, it feels so good. So like I said, this is a 2006 piece, and it is wool and nylon, again made in Japan, and this one is a size 2, so we'll see how it fits. But I do have one more, maybe my favorite number 9 piece to look at. This one is from 2001, so I think the oldest number 9 piece I've ever had, and it is this like hickory striped pair of denim pants. And this piece is just so far ahead of its time. It is crazy. Like, ERD is doing this right now as we speak. Gallery Department is doing this right now as we speak. But Takehiro Miyashita was doing it for number 9 in 2001. It is so good. So you can see it's got a lot of the same details as the pair of corduroys that we saw earlier. They were only a single year apart, so a lot of the same hardware and tags and stuff. The same logo lining on the inside of the pockets, and the same type of tag. This one is a size 3. Again, totally meaningless. 100% cotton, made in Japan. But I feel like the hickory stripe is just like a classic piece of output from the like union style that Japan does so well in their denim making. Like, back in the day, Japan decided we really want to do it the American way, like the early Levi's type of way, and we're gonna go back. Like, America is now mass manufacturing all of their jeans, but we're gonna do it the old way, the classic way. So that's why this stuff is so coveted. But you can see the weave on this is absolutely gorgeous. And then, as I said, the treatment is so modern. Like, this does not look like a 23, 24-year-old pair of pants by any means. The paint splatters are perfectly applied, and this repair work that's happened all over, it looks like they almost got burned or something. It's just so damn good. And the construction is so good too. Like, look at the inside of these seams and how clean that is. And it's just as good from the back. I don't know. I just think this is my favorite number 9 piece, and I'm curious to know what you think. Now, we have 2 pieces left to look at, and they're the 2 craziest. One because of the story, and the other because the piece is just absolutely insane. So let's do this one. This is a jacket, a sweater, whatever you want to call it, by LGB. So this one is a hooded piece of knitwear from LGB Le Grand Bleu. It always feels so weird saying that with the French pronunciation. It feels so like posery. I don't know. Anyway, this piece I bought from like an archive seller on Instagram. They were like a nightmare to deal with, but eventually the piece did get here, so I can't complain. Now, LGB is like the perfect Japanese archive brand because a lot of their stuff can be gotten like pretty affordably, but it's so damn cool. I would say one staple of Japanese archive is the use of real furs, and this is no exception. Like, that's real. That's legit. So let's see what this is made of. You've got like the LGB sports equipment tag at the back of the neck here, and the care tags give us all of the relevant details. So this is a size 0, so it's gonna fit pretty damn small. The knit part itself is cotton, wool, nylon, and cashmere. That's such a good blend. And then parts are raccoon fur, okay? And this is made in Japan. I don't know where it says that, but it says it somewhere, okay? Number 1, raccoon fur hood. That's just as legit as it gets. I'm obsessed. But then you get this really nice kind of, it's actually like a cardigan, I would say, because it's like asymmetrical. It's got a bit of a curve to it, and it meets right up here. You've got some gorgeous like metal stoppers here for the drawstrings at the hood. And you've got some buttons right here so that these 2 little openings can go across and you get kind of an asymmetric buttoning along your side. And you can see that this thing is just like fuzzy to the max. It is so good. Like, yeah, wool, nylon, cashmere, all that good stuff. And the inside is like a dream, okay? Look at like the fleece. It's like a blanket. It's like wearing a goddamn blanket. I've never seen anything like it, legit. I don't think I have any other pieces that are like this on the inside. It's so good. The back is just as clean. Like you can see, it's lined with the fur around the hood, and then it's still knit for the hood itself. So it's a big hood. It kind of like comes over the face in a way. And then you can see we also get thumb holes. That is like a key element of a lot of LGB outerwear, and I love it. Actually, a lot of like Japanese archive stuff, they love their thumb holes, and I love them for loving them. So that's crazy. That's a crazy piece, but we've got to end on the one with the story attached because you can see that this piece says Rocket Man Resale on it. And you know why? It's because it came from the Rocket Man. This came from Elton John, and not just like he sold it. This was directly from Elton John's closet. Okay, he has the Elton John AIDS Foundation, a great cause. So he did a sale on eBay where he literally cleared out his closet, and he had some crazy designer pieces, and especially he had a lot of Yohji Yamamoto pieces. And I actually don't know if we've ever had a legit real Yohji piece in hand. So I said, hey, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. We can get a piece from Elton John, okay? And we can look at a Yohji Yamamoto piece. So inside this bag, if I pull it out, we have got a shirt from Yohji Yamamoto. Let's get it hung up. And this is like one of the loudest pieces I've bought in a long time. It really reads very much as Elton John, doesn't it? You can see the resemblance. But I'm a simple man, okay? You tell me, would you like to own a Yohji Yamamoto shirt from Elton John's closet? I say yes. I'm simple like that, okay? So let's take a look at the details here. This is a Yohji Yamamoto Pour Homme piece, the menswear line, and it is a tagged size medium, but Yohji stuff tends to fit very like open and flowy, so I don't know what to expect there. But this one, it is made in Japan, and it is a blend of rayon and polyester. That's like a very, I don't know, 90s fabrication combo, so I wouldn't be surprised if this piece is quite old, but it's in incredible condition. So of course, the first thing you notice is the hyper glossy, like oil slick type of look to this. So it is black, but a very, very glossy black, and the way that the light plays off of it, it looks almost like liquid in a way. And I just find that so enticing. You can see we've got a chest pocket right here, but other than that, it's like a fairly standard button-down shirt, but I really love the collar here. If you look at the shape of these, that's very intentional and very interesting. Yohji Yamamoto really likes fangs, just kind of always has, and I think this almost plays into that in its own way. But Yohji is well known for his tailoring, and this is no exception. The way that it curves and bends and the ways that they've manipulated the fabric, it really does look like the work of a master. So while I didn't necessarily expect that this would be the first Yohji piece I ever owned, I'm not mad about it one bit. I'm just kind of more so than anything, curious to see how it works out and what it looks like. All right, that is a lot of pieces, but every single one of them, to a man, is hot fire. Absolute hot fire, okay? But now, we've got to try these pieces on. We have almost enough pieces here, I think, to make fits for everything, but we don't have everything. So let's see what else we're going to wear with them. So I think this is literally one of the easiest fit videos I've ever done because we have almost everything we need here. We've got 2 pairs of pants, we have outerwear, we have shirts, we have knitwear, t-shirts. The only thing we don't have is a pair of shoes. And actually, just today, I went to the thrift store and I found this incredible pair of shearling boots. Look at that on the inside there. Focus up, focus up. Shearling boots from the brand All Saints with this buckle here. It's very old, early All Saints stuff, made in Portugal. Absolute fire. I think it's going to go great with these. So let's see what happens. All right, we've got a lot to get through, so let's just jump right in. None of these were bought with the intent to like put together fit specifically with these pieces, so we're just rotating through them. Some will probably work better than others. Let's find out. First up, we definitely need some pants to get me out of these undies, although Supreme Undies, the best of the best. We're starting off with the number 9 2001 hickory stripe pants. My God. Even though the camera does not like them one bit, geez, didn't expect that to happen. I promise they don't look like a weirdo optical illusion in real life. They're great. The repaired patches are really cool. The paint splatters are awesome, but the fit is great too. It's a nice tapered leg, slim but not skinny, and of course kind of a low rise and a small inseam. But yeah, they don't fit like the tagged size at all. They fit more like size 30. So definitely if you're looking to buy number 9 bottoms, ask for measurements. Don't trust the tagged size. All right, and then we're going to put on it these All Saints boots. These, I couldn't get a ton of information on them, but they're definitely very early All Saints leather, like dark brown leather with shearling lining and a really interesting sole and like buckle it's like an aviator jacket in shoe form, and I'm here for it. I also actually like how that midsole kind of matches with the pants. But I'm really excited to check out this long sleeve ribbed tape seam shirt from Isaac Salam. And throwing this on, I am all about it. It's like skinny. It kind of gives you like a vibe of a musculature. Again, kind of adding to the H.R. Geiger-ness of it all. I've also thrown on some jewelry, which I think really helps bring out the kind of darker elements like an ERD necklace and all these rings here. But this one, it's tagged a size medium, but I think it could fit small or a medium, I would say. It's a bit fitted. But those tape seams are kind of heavy and they like force a certain fit to it in an interesting way. It's much more structured than you would get from a normal ribbed long sleeve. You can also tell it's quite long line, which is quite common for like dark avant-garde designers. But I'm just like so here for the pure darkness and horror of this piece. But moving right along, I want to know what it looks like with the LGB raccoon fur hood knit parka here. Let's get this on first. I've definitely got to tuck in the Isaac Salam shirt. That would be way too long under this because this thing's kind of cropped. But once I get this on, yeah, look, it's tight, okay? And I'm going to be honest with you, the person who sold it to me was like, this would fit anyone unless you're like an XL. That is a lie, okay? This fits like an extra small, but luckily I can usually fit most extra smalls, and this one is no exception. It has a bit more of like a women's wear type of fit between the asymmetrical like cardigan open front and the cropped fit and the sort of tight shoulders, but damn if it doesn't look good. I don't care as long as it fits and as long as it looks good, you know what I mean? Because like hood down looks good, hood up looks good, buttoned up looks good, unbuttoned looks good. All aspects of this look good, and you can really get the hood down low and totally obscure everything, total incognito mode, except not incognito at all because you would be recognized from a mile away in this thing, but damn, I like it. I think it's time for a little bit of a change of scenery with the pants, so let's go to the 2002 corduroy pants. So these things have like a similar inseam to the painter's pants, but a very different cut. So while they like fall in the same place, they are much more of a straight down the middle, straight leg type of cut. But again, similarly, the waist size not matching the tag size at all, just make nothing of the tag size. Don't trust it one bit. But I really like the fit of these. I like the cut of them. This is now like a very dark look, but it really works. Every element of this, like this wasn't even the fit I was attempting. I was hoping the hickory strip would go with these, but I think this is better. Like this is a going out type of fit. You feel me? But no matter how good this fit is, we have to keep marching on. Let's keep in the number 9 arena and switch out to the 2006 Argyle sweater. This one like fits me perfectly. Normally I consider throwing like maybe a button down or something underneath the v-neck, because usually like a bare v-neck is kind of weird, but when you have the necklace in there, it actually kind of works. And this one gives me really like Eddie Slima type of vibes, but this was Takahiro Miyashita doing it years before Eddie was doing this type of vibe at Saint Laurent, I would say. But I really like how it fits me. It almost has more of like a tunic-y type of feel in a way, because the fit goes outwards. It's like a triangle type of fit. Because of that raw hem and how it rolls up, it kind of opens outwards as you get towards the bottom of the piece. But I love the two-tone element, I love the Argyle element, I love the repair detailing along the collar, and I just love where it sits and how it feels. The fabrication is nutty good on this. All right, but now to the mystery brand, the one we couldn't figure out. Even ChatGPT don't know nothing about this brand. This is the jacket from In the Attic. And while I wish that this was real leather, it's not. It's synthetic leather, vegan leather. It's pleather, okay? Just accept it, call it pleather, call it fake leather, because that's what it is. But anyway, throwing it on, even though the text on this thing makes no sense, it really works with the rest of this fit here. Very rock and roll, very punk rock, very indie sleaze, very Bowery, New York type of vibes, you know what I mean? This is definitely dressed down from the LGB. Like that one looked like I was trying to pull a fit. This one is much more wearable, going out in the streets, because it's kind of more of a wearable type of boot. Some corduroys kind of have a slightly dressed up casual vibe, and then just a nice leather jacket. Pleather, okay, but we don't need to tell anyone about that. All right, but now we get into the scary stuff. The stuff that I'm not sure how it's gonna work, because we have to wear Elton John's personal Yohji shirt. This is real, this is not a drill. I got this piece from Elton John straight up. Let's throw it on. And this is interesting, okay? I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if I love it, if I'm on the fence about it, but I think it's one of those two. Obviously, the look of it is insane. The liquid coloring gloss sheen is gorgeous. It's really, really comfortable. It's rayon poly. You know, we don't love a polyester, but rayon, I am all about, and it's just so airy and open. It feels like wearing nothing at all. Ned Flanders' voice, if you know, you know. And very, very open type of fit. Like, it's tagged a size medium, fits like an XL. But you can tell there was consideration here. A lot of times when brands oversize things, they just oversize them to oversize them. There's not a lot of meaning behind it, but you can tell Yohji made this piece in this fit because he thought someone with a medium build would look best in it, and I understand where he's coming from. So this one, I don't know that it totally works with the rest of the pieces. I think it would work better with a more tailored look, but it's not bad. And the piece itself is definitely not bad. But now even scarier, we'll put the leather jacket back on pleather. I know. Putting it on, Okay, I actually really like how it looks from the front, but then when you get to the side, there's like too much Yohji shirt coming down. So if we tuck this in, all right, we're back in Indie Sleaze City. We're back in rock and roller rock star vibe city. I like it. I actually really like it. I dig it. I think tucked in is actually the way to go here, and I would never, ever, ever have expected that. I thought that would be sacrilege to tuck in this wide, flowy Yohji shirt, but I really dig it, and I'd really be curious to see what it looks like with a more tailored type of look, because I think that's where this would really shine. No pun intended. But damn, that is 7 absurd pieces. I can't believe we got through all of them. I can't wait to hear which one you like the most, and I can't wait to hear what Japanese archive brands you tell me to check out next. All right, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of archival clothing. It's a crazy scene. It's obviously exploding right now. I don't know. Is it just a boom market for buyers and sellers? Is it no different from basically gambling or like a Wall Street bet style stock market, shorts and puts and options and stuff? Because that stuff, we've all seen bubbles like that pop in the past. Is this a new bubble? Or is this something sustainable for the long haul? I do think it's positive that most of these brands have been around for decades at this point. It's just a difference in the level of attention they're getting now. But let me know what you think. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscription, please, and I'll see you next time.